Hello and welcome to the show. Very nice to have your company. I'm Carson Scott. Coming up, the media sector set for a major shake-up.
This is good news for the media industry. It's good news for consumers, and it's particularly good news for regional consumers.
Media reform finally looking set to come to fruition. We'll take a look at the impact on the industry and the kind of consolidation we'll likely see amongst media players. Plus, we're going to see who's ahead of the latest TV ratings. Is My Kitchen Rules cooking up a storm for 7? Joining me in the studio, as he does every week, James Manning, editor and publisher of Mediaweek. So, welcome, and no doubt about it, James. Top billing is this, positioning now amongst politicians on either side, amongst the media owners, and very much their lieutenants as well. What do you make of it?
Yeah, look, it's interesting, that little clip from what the Minister said, didn't he? Good news for consumers, good news for the media players. There'd be people who'd be willing to dispute him on most of those claims, I guess. Although he did admit this week, I like the quote, varying degrees of enthusiasm he admitted the different parties have to these possible law changes.
From very hot to very cold, in other words.
Yeah, look, absolutely, yeah. Will it impact much on the general public? Look, I don't think so.
Well, that is the real question, because ultimately they've talked about the consumer, but to then not really trumpet the benefits kind of leaves one guessing.
That's right, yeah. The vague benefit some people are claiming is maybe a protection of local content, I guess, local news for people in regional Australia, but that has been shrinking over the years, so I don't know, it hasn't been preserved very well to date, I guess.
Well, the first shots were fired from the likes of Tim Warner and friends, so we will drill down into those remarks with you shortly.
Sure.
Let's, though, bring into discussion something bigger picture that's happening this week and has happened right here as pretty much an historic first for the APAC region. Australia selected when it comes to a new function on Twitter. The way news and events curated and then rolled out on the service. Chord Moments feature actually all about, well, the breaking news side of ops plus the trending content alongside. Andrew Fitzgerald is global leader of Twitter Moments. He's in Australia for the launch. We've grabbed him for some insights. Warm welcome into the program. How did we get to be in the front line of this rollout, and what principally has driven you to this, I suppose, innovation on the platform?
Absolutely. So Twitter Moments is designed to bring you the very best of Twitter in an instant. We're looking at those tweets that are from the scene, that great tweet from the middle of a protest, or tweets that are from the source, so those tweets that come directly from a celebrity or a politician. We know that there are a ton of incredible tweets on Twitter every single day, among the hundreds of millions of tweets that are sent. How do you find those really great tweets? Twitter Moments is designed to help you find those tweets much quicker.
So is it about finding out what's trending at any given time and then somehow algorithmically putting that to the forefront alongside what? Some of the more deep dive pieces that aren't necessarily trending but might be considered by some to be favorited, or what?
Here's the radical innovation behind Twitter Moments. It's not just the algorithms telling us what is happening on Twitter. It actually has a little bit of a human touch too.
How reassuring.
I know. So
real breaking news.
So we've hired a team of folks actually based here in Sydney that come from a journalistic background, sort of bring that human judgment on top of the algorithm. So think about algorithmic signals plus a little bit of human judgment.
Is it enough to kind of give you that balance? Because you say a little bit against what is a tidal wave of technology. How do you get that balance?
So, I mean, we're using both some internal tools and a few third-party tools that allow us to kind of filter through all of those hundreds of millions of tweets that are happening every day on Twitter, finding the ones that we see are really resonating with an audience here in Australia, and trying to reflect back for an Australian audience those conversations that are important to Australians.
Andrew, have you run the numbers on this, how it might affect your user numbers? Because I guess this seems to be maybe something that would appeal to people who've yet to dabble on Twitter. I mean, people like Carson, power users, people in the media industry find it a very useful tool, but maybe a little bit harder to penetrate into the non-media parts of the community.
Right, so Twitter Moments is designed exactly for those users who have not yet had the chance to build the perfect home timeline. Folks for whom they've come to Twitter Twitter once, they've maybe come to Twitter a couple of times, and they haven't found all the accounts yet that they want to follow. Twitter Moments does a lot of that work for them, offers you as a user the chance to see things that might be happening outside of your timeline.
It does come down to the timeline, though, doesn't it? Because equally, if you have been a user to the extent that you've set up a profile and then you've gone dormant on it, but you've essentially even reserved the name and then thought, well, maybe into the future I might exercise my right to go down that avenue. But if you don't have a timeline as such, it's very difficult to formulate anything that would match your interests. So how do you appeal to those people who are non-active but still have a presence in name alone?
Yeah, so for those folks, Twitter Moments offers them a way to look into everything that's happening on Twitter before they even start following accounts. And in fact, we're beginning to experiment with personalization inside of Twitter Moments. So of all of the moments that are created by our team and also by our partners here in Australia and elsewhere around the world, we'll identify which moments we think will be most interesting to you as a user and show you those.
So that's like a curation, isn't it, that you do? Can the user curate that curation?
Right, exactly. And so Moments learns from users what they're interested in and helps users to understand how to curate a Twitter experience, which then helps improve their home.
Can the user fiddle with that, though, or just will their usage pattern automatically?
To start, we're looking at the usage pattern of how users are using Moments and trying to learn from the actions that they take there.
Now, in terms of the best way to view this, you've got your smartphone, you've got this old bit of technology now, relatively. What is considered to be the most effective? When you've got so much information going on, that's going to be a big challenge, is it not, to get it into that?
Right. So Moments is available iOS, Android, and on the web for this old guy. You can absolutely view Twitter Moments there, but it's definitely a mobile experience. We've seen, for Twitter, for media at large, this is an incredible time for mobile storytelling, and we've designed Twitter Moments to be a new way of telling stories for a mobile platform.
Monetizing it, are you going to have the ads embedded into that homepage view at any given time, or is it only once you've selected on the said article, the said photograph, that something related to that by way of an upsell comes along?
So we will roll out shortly after our Moments launch, which happened this week. We'll roll out a campaign called Promoted Moments, and that allows, in the same way that we are telling stories with Moments, our media partners are telling stories with Moments. We'll also allow brands to tell stories with Moments, and that will be an ad unit, and that'll be presented right in the homepage, what we call the Today tab of Twitter Moments. Brands will have the opportunity to tell a story and have it featured there.
Looking at your content partners initially in Australia, it's heavy on sport, news, entertainment. Are they the real drivers of users? That's what people want?
I mean, we've seen in Australia and in many of our markets around the world, people come to Twitter, they come to Twitter for news, they come to Twitter to understand celebrity and the conversations that are happening between celebrity. They come to Twitter to follow along with big live events, which is, of course, perfect for sport.
Yeah, yeah. Will that roll out of partners? Do you need a lot of partners, or can you just pick up people without officially being a partner?
So to start, we'll roll out to a handful of partners, and then we'll expand that as we go. We definitely think Moments is a really revolutionary way to tell stories for the mobile platform. We want to get that technology into a lot of hands.
Yeah, and are there many more? I mean, how long have you been working on this, and are there many more enhancements we can expect to see? I mean, has Twitter got sort of teams in laboratories around the world trying to think up, new things and possibilities?
Yeah, absolutely. So Twitter Moments, we launched Twitter Moments the third quarter of last year, starting in the US. We've since launched Twitter Moments in the UK, in Brazil, and now in Australia, which is our very first launch in Asia Pacific. But we have other launches coming in other markets, and our product teams in the US and around the world are working on how to improve Twitter Moments constantly.
Thoughts on, I know this is all about cosmetics, but the Thunderbolt, the Love Heart, I mean, who really has got the final say on that? Is that you? I mean, are you the one to point fingers at? Who is it?
It is our crack team of designers who are really the best in the business.
So they can really be undercover in that regard. Because, I mean, you take feedback on something like that, it's important. I mean, it might just be a little icon at the end of the day, but it still does matter. I mean, to go from a tick to a heart.
Right.
I mean, what was your reflection on that?
I mean, the thing about all of our product changes is we only ever change a Twitter product through experimentation. So we try something out, we measure it, we see if people like it or not, and then we make a final decision. And so even things like whether or not we will shift from a star to a heart sounds like the most frivolous thing in the world. Whether or not you change from one icon to another icon, we measured it completely and thoroughly.
All right. Lies, damn lies, and measurement. Thank you very much, Andrew. Safe trip back home.
Absolutely.
Right,
thank you so much.
Andrew Fitzgerald, global leader of Twitter Moments Down Under, for that rollout this week here, number 4 globally. We'll take a break. When we come back, though, as promised, that deep dive into the headline-making news of the week from Parliament on media law reform. Lots to discuss. We'll be back after this.
Can you guess what's scaring Kemma? She's just 8 years old, and she's terrified of marriage. Girls like Kemma are forced to marry men 3-4 times their age. It's illegal, it's wrong, but it happens. They suffer terrible abuse, pregnant when they're just children, too young to cope. Will you sponsor a child like Kemma with World Vision to help free them from this terrible fear?
Why should you compare? Well, it's easy to do. And according to Super Ratings, CareSuper's balanced option outperformed almost all other surveyed funds over 10 years. Just go to the CareSuper website and click on the Compare My Super button. Choose your super fund and CareSuper. Then see the difference not just fees, but also investment performance have made over 10 years with the same starting balance. After that, there's only one button you'll want to click on. So compare your super and consider CareSuper today.
Wix makes it easy for me to create a beautiful website that showcases my passion, ideas, and my work. With Wix.com, I created a website for my business, my way. I can add my own images and drag and drop them into place. Even add a video background. It's that simple. And those cool 3D effects? I added them myself. Go to Wix.com today and create your stunning website. It's easy and free.
Innovation starts by asking questions. Can changing one small thing change everything? Can a different perspective help? Can the answer you're looking for be a question? So here's one for you. Can your bank help your business innovate? CommBank can.
Unlike our key competitor, Hungry Jack's now guarantees that all our beef burgers have no added hormones.
No added hormones.
Which is a big tick for me.
So that's why the burgers are better at Hungry Jack's.
100% Aussie beef and no added hormones.
Do you need cash now? You could have $200 to $1,000 today by visiting LoneRangerCash.com. Whatever the reason, rent, bills or a getaway, Lone Ranger Cash can save the day. Why wait? With our fast online application, you can get the money you need in your account today. Even get access to cash on your mobile device. Want $200 to $1,000 cash fast? It's quick and easy. Go to LoneRangerCash.com now. The same day cash service.
My perfect guy would make me laugh. Live in the moment, but look to the future.
Elite Singles, for single professionals serious about finding love.
He doesn't have to be perfect. Just perfect for me.
Go to elitesingles.com.au.
Welcome back into the programme, and joining me, my guest host James Manning, editor and publisher of Media Week. Let's return to the major news out this week. Communications Minister Mitch Fifield detailing reforms to media laws. The coalition's given the go-ahead now to a significant shake-up for the sector. Essentially, under these changes, the so-called reach rule, preventing mergers between regional TV players and their metro counterparts, will be abolished. The 2 out of 3 rule, meanwhile, also facing the axe. And that opens the door for organisations to own TV, radio and newspaper assets in the same market. Anti-siphoning legislation, though, remains unchanged in the package. That limits certain sporting events to free-to-air broadcasters. Here's the Communications Minister speaking with Sky News.
There have been events that have come onto the anti-siphoning list over the years and some events that have come off. But I think if there was to be any significant change to the anti-siphoning list, there would need to be good community understanding of how the list operates, what it does do, what it doesn't do, and there would also need to be broad parliamentary support for change, and I don't think those circumstances are there.
Let's get some views from James Manning. That last point's contentious because essentially without it, the Minister has lost any support he might have had from 2 big media titans out there.
Yeah, well, look, Rupert Murdoch, News Corp, Kerry Stokes, 7 West Media, both not happy about this. News Corp's biggest problem is that they really want the anti-siphoning list overhauled. You're never going to get the big sports off it like the AFL, the NRL. They're always going to be protected because politicians would be very scared of a public backlash against that. But it's still a very long list and they just want it tidied up a little bit. Give Fox Sports a bit more of an opportunity to compete, if you like. They say level playing field. So it's the 7 West Media. Look, do they want to be they're not interested really. Tim Warner said about, look, this is great for deal junkies, which presumably means 7 aren't interested in doing deals.
Right.
Do they want to buy Prime? They've got a good deal with Prime. They've got a long-term agreement. They've signed recently, I think. They don't want to spend the money on that asset.
They want to spend money on Southern Cross when it would involve, no doubt, a cap raising, a further dilution of shareholder value. For what return? Well,
that's it. I mean, what are those regional media assets worth? It's going to be fascinating to watch. We see ARN getting out of their regional newspapers, perhaps a bit of a test of how big is the thirst for investment in regional media.
About the only frontline manager that's come out with almost unguarded support is Greg Highwood, correct? To say, you know, from my perspective, this is a welcome development.
Yeah.
Which is rather curious.
Yeah, and look, a bit of a talk there that the only real mention Fairfax gets is all in this is a possible tie-up with Nine. Could there be something on there? When David Gingenal was running NEC, he was adamant they'd never get into print. He was really, he was very against it. He's gone. Has that attitude changed? You know, print's on the way out anyway. It's just a matter of how long, I guess. So as Hugh Marks got a different view to a possible tie-up with Fairfax.
It doesn't help when you have something as inflammatory as certainly last week's Media Watch with Paul Sheehan, you know, a vaunted columnist, which is one of those things that you cling to as a print outlet now. If your opinions don't even hold currency because they're found to be confected, that's problematic, is it not?
Yeah, it's not, but then I guess that still could happen to your online columnists.
It could indeed.
Still get into deep water too, can't they, I guess? But it is seen as an asset of that, you know, the print sector invests more in that opinion, that curated news, whereas online doesn't. So, you know, that's what they see as their asset.
Has there been some sop to the critics, though, in the form of at least these 2 other strands of reform, 2 out of 3 and the reach rule, go into the House for overhaul together? They have not been broken up. Again, that was a criticism from Tim Warner, that he would not be prepared to preside over something that had been broken apart.
Yeah, there had been a call for that, hadn't they, to separate them. The government doesn't want to do that. But look, it's still a bit of work to do, isn't there? It's got to get through the House of Reps. It's got to get through the Senate. There's a Senate committee going to look at this.
I don't know who's on that committee.
There's a budget coming up. There's an election coming up.
Yes.
So there is still a bit of work to be done on all this. Then any mergers have got to go past the ACCC.
Hashtag hourglass. Let's listen to another view to come out of Canberra this week. Animates, please.
There's so much economies of scale here. You're going to be able to run these businesses for the same cost that it costs to run one, you're going to be able to run 2. So I think you'll see very, very quick consolidation in the space, and you'll see it on a number of different fronts. So across different types of media, as well as what we saw in the paper today with 10 and Southern Cross, so just some integration there between stations that are already distributing the same content. Look, I'm still really reluctant about the whole space, and I think they're going to need to consolidate, they're going to need to cut costs, because that revenue line is going to continue to come under pressure.
Steve Johnson there, incidentally, the Chief Investment Officer for Forager Funds, who was speaking to us earlier on this. So, again, when it comes to an investment thesis, the reality is these are beaten down plays. You need to find, fundy support out there. Still, we've got a lot of questions, as you already articulated.
Yeah, and these media stocks haven't been exciting investments for a couple of years now. I mean, I think APN News and Media might be on the move recently, but a lot of those others, been a lot of price pressure against them, despite some, reasonable profits still being made over the last couple of years.
And yet you've seen notably even this week, have you not, departures that really reflect what you just say. The likes at 9 of the Chief Financial Officer, a move there.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? I mean, it's a little bit coincidental. We can't read it, but it's, people going out of media into other sectors. I mean, Marley Carnegie, the CEO of Google, gone into the banking sector. Simon Kelly's left 9. He's going back into gaming. I think he was there before. Maybe at Aristocrat, he's now going in with Intech. And Hamish McLennan is former 10 network. He's gone with the funds manager, I think Magellan. So
intriguing.
There's some movement there. Maybe these people are seeing a little bit of writing on the wall, perhaps, and thinking...
Because let's not forget, the justification for these reforms, as they were flagged earlier this week, was that this is all about a recognition that digital is alive and well. 9, for instance, has been streaming for quite some time, programming, in real time.
So launched 9 now. Yeah. To date, it's only doing the primary channel, but they're going in the next 4, 5, 6 weeks. They're going to have all their other, I think, 4 other channels they've got now. And
it really begs the question on that: the ability to do that. What do these laws actually do to change what they've set about doing, independent of legislative reform? They've just gone about and done it, and no one can stop them.
No, well, that's right. And I think 9's got 3 other channels, perhaps. Yeah. But 7's now streaming all their channels. Every regional market. What pressure does that put on the price of those regional assets? Sure, the initial numbers for people streaming are small, but as time moves on, those numbers will grow.
So you wonder what the free-to-air licence levels are going to look like inside the next 5 years. I mean, whenever those fees are up for discussion, right?
Well, you've got to think they're talking about those fees being abolished probably in the budget.
You think they'll go? That's a fair.
Well, you think these guys are going to be pretty unhappy if that doesn't happen, because it sounds like they've been promised that. Okay. So that'd be really some angry guys there, some angry chief executives.
Well, there'll be happy chief executives if you look at the league table. So maybe we just focus on some of the positives, because now to run through those lists as we do every week. The ratings. What's to your mind been this week's sort of standout story?
Well, it's the first quarter, if you like. It's 7 is really out of the gates in a big way. They've always started well since they've had My Kitchen Rules in the schedule. It's run at the start of every year. Doing fantastic business for them.
Incidentally, any word on when MasterChef is coming back?
MasterChef will be back probably after Easter. 10 had a little lag. 10's doing reasonable figures with I'm a Celebrity. There was a bit of a gap between that and MasterChef last year. They got beat up a little bit. Yeah. But 9, we spoke to Hugh Marks recently. 9, he said, look, we're not competing as strongly as we'd like to be. This time next year, he wants to have some better Australian content in the schedule, which is the thing resonating with Australian audiences. And he says, look, it'll be game on this time next year. So he's a content guy, so his big focus is on spending more, less on overseas programs, more on local.
Just don't mention Hot Plate. Let's talk. Speaking of cooking shows, let's talk, shall we? Some other ratings. What have we got? Something else for you? Subscription sport,
TV.
Actually.
Yeah, look,
sport.
Big weekend for Fox Sports. The NRL starts. They've got every game live this year. They've never had that before. So every game live, we'll see how that has a rating. Will that have a ratings impact on 9? Will have a ratings impact on Fox Sports. And the V8 Supercars, of course, starts. Very big for Fox Sports, year 2. So crucial. And the Super Rugby started last weekend, almost record ratings. So doing a very good start for Fox Sports to the year.
Non-sport, meanwhile, not to overlook this Sport and Strat.
Yep. Spoke to Foxtel, Brian Walsh this week. They're going to have a big focus on the impact of the streaming services is having an impact on Foxtel. They've got their own investment in Presto, but they're going to focus on their own content. You can see the Real Housewives of Melbourne doing very well for them. Selling Houses Australia, that's content they own. You can't get it anywhere else. No. They're going to start spending more on that, and they're going to have it on demand. So you can download it when you want it.
How does the 7 and 8 interchange into it? Because you imagine there's a tussle between the old Blighty type grand design, which has got a throwback to something grand and all the rest of it, and then you've got a very in-your-face Selling Houses, which is equally valid and equally timely. So do they
as part of that Foxtel offer, they want to reach everybody. From preschoolers through to retirees, they've got something for everybody, Carson.
Well, sport for choice and some. Let's talk just some other moves as well, some final topics beyond all of this as well. Netflix and House of Cards again.
Yeah, I just mentioned Netflix. And look, their biggest property, especially with their international expansion, has been the House of Cards franchise. Season 4 drops on Saturday morning this weekend, and you can watch the whole season. So it's not one episode a week over 10 weeks. And a lot of people do like binging on that. Yeah. Some others take a little while to get through it. Yeah. There's not as much hype around this one as you'd appreciate as there has in previous years, but Kevin Spacey still up on a must-watch for many people.
Well, I know you've got not a train to catch soon, but probably a cab to catch. But I mean, that's a chilling line, isn't it? I'm not even through season 2.
Oh, come on.
I mean, I know I've really got to get with the game, right? I'm so behind the game; it's not fun.
Yeah, but it kept my subscription to to Netflix for many years was just for House of Cards.
Yes.
You know, so it's a crucial asset. And
so what's going to come next? When will they announce the next big surprise? Because that's been something they've traded off now for all this time. You say this is the final season.
Yeah. Oh no, fourth. They have commissioned season 5. Okay, yeah. So they've got many other offerings, of course, but that's probably the key. The ramifications on the local, like Stan, Presto. Presto's talking about movies. They're one of their big assets this year is movies. So they're not really going down that local commissions, exclusive commissions path. Not yet. They're dabbling in it. Stan is going after a lot of US series, so something on now called Billions, which is sort of the finance world, which is a pretty good watch. I'd highly recommend, Carson, if you want to investigate that. But look, they've done a little bit of local commission, so they've got a Wolf Creek series coming up, something called No Activity, but they're not really, there might be 1 or 2, I'm getting the feeling 1 or 2 local commissions a year, but so they're having a mix.
Maybe we could do a local version of that with the Lowies and the Obeeds and all the rest of it. It could be interesting.
That'd be fascinating.
Yeah. All right, listen, that's for another discussion. We will look forward to your company next week because we're out of time.
Thanks, Carson. Good working with you again.
Thank you so much, always. Thank you, James. James Manning, editor and publisher of Media Week, and we will see you, without question, in 7 days.